Some guys really like Batman, and they had an epiphany. So they all got to work on the next Batman movie. And now they are the heroes, and you get to follow along. They're bringing him to life every week after this song. Batman, Project Batman, Project Batman. Fuck yeah.
It's been a while since we've done this shit.
I know.
How's it going, Ken?
Good.
What have you been up to for the past 2 weeks? I think it is.
What have I been up to? Was I working in Jimmy John's last time we recorded?
I think so.
You had just quit Starbucks that day.
Oh, right on. Yeah. Good memory. No, I didn't mean you have a good memory. That is true, but I mean, like, that's a good memory.
I bet it was.
To leave Starbucks.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. I've just been working, like, same thing, like 70 hours a week since then.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I tried out for... I auditioned for Comedy Central Executives.
Oh, yeah. How'd your audition go?
Whoa.
It went not good. See, here's the thing. They're doing this Up Next thing, which is they're scouting like every state for like undiscovered comedians or whatever. And I decided to go audition just really to see what it was like. And what it is like, first of all, there was like a line of like 100 comics, and I'm like right in the middle. And so there's 50 people that have gone before me. So you're auditioning not in a room full of these comics that are there to audition too. They're waiting in line outside of this comic venue, and like I've never been on stage at like a real comedy venue, you know, and that's where they're having it. And there's 3 judges from Comedy Central there who are there like to judge you and are told not to laugh. So they're not there to have a good time and just try to relate to whatever jokes you're trying to tell. They're just there to like I said, judge you. And it's really nerve-wracking. And I got up there and it was really weird. And they were like I handed them my sheet and I was like, hey, how's it going? And they were like, Ken? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, go ahead. Okay. And anything, you only had 3 minutes, and anything that goes past that 3-minute mark, they won't count. So I kept thinking I was running out of time, so I cut one of my jokes short, and I was just like, thanks. And it turned out I still had like 30 seconds left. I could have finished it, but I was just so nervous. I knew I wasn't going to get out because I'm not that experienced, but I did it for the experience of just like seeing what it was like to audition in front of people that I knew were like network executives. And if I ever have to do that in the future,
You'll be prepared.
Well, it'll be like a half
it's room
a
you
percent.
fit in for. You know,
Yeah.
before, you know.
So that was that.
Neat.
I guess.
Okay. I'm gonna get this out of the way now.
Okay.
You do not tell him anything about Breaking Bad until he's seen the episodes.
Whoa.
Okay, no.
Dude, no, I don't want to fucking hear it.
No,
You do not tell him anything about
Here's the
Breaking
problem.
Bad until
Here's
he's
the
seen the
problem with
episodes.
this. I tried that. Radio silence on my end. He's like, I'm going to watch it anyway. What's the point? And I know he's going to read the AV Club review of it anyway. So either I have the enjoyment of watching him find out what happens next, or I have no enjoyment, and he also doesn't watch the episode.
Why would you
I
not-
chose to
why
please
would-
myself.
Why would you not? Well, hold on. First,
He'll watch the episode eventually.
because we're recording, and they're like, "Who the hell's that?" I haven't been listening since episode 10 or something. This is Sean's brother Matt.
Hi.
He was on our episode of Billion Black Coffins.
That is amazing that you remembered that.
Yeah.
That was great.
That was a good.
Now, Sean. Yeah, arguably one of our most fun episodes.
Yeah, I think it was.
Sean, why are you not caught up on Breaking Bad?
I'm caught up now, but at the time when it aired,
The day after it fucking aired.
I was working, so like I went to bed around 9, so I could get up at 5. So I was just working until like 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Then I'd get home, hang out with Krista and Maddie for like 2 hours, and I'd go right back to bed. So I didn't have time to watch it.
Welcome to my life.
Me, I
You
don't.
have important things to do other than watch TV? What?
Me, I don't give a fuck. I don't care if the shit airs at like 3 in the morning. I'm just gonna watch it.
Yeah.
I don't care that I have to be up at 7. If I only get 2 hours of sleep, so be it. Breaking Bad,
Yeah.
especially tonight.
Tonight, we're recording this on the episode that the third to last episode is airing.
Ozymandias.
Yes, directed by the great Ryan Johnson.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Vince Gilligan says this is his favorite episode of the series tonight. That doesn't mean best, but it's
His favorite.
So that's exciting.
And with no spoilers, it's gonna be a fucking craziness, like crazy beyond what Breaking Bad normally is. Like they said, it's been said that this episode will knock your socks off. Now, if this is stated that it's going to knock your socks off more than Breaking Bad normally does, it's sort of like, I guess describing an episode of Breaking Bad to knock your socks off is more like describing an episode of just an average TV show to blow you apart with a Civil War grape shot cannon.
Well, I don't know. This is kind of a weird place to be right now because this is going to be listened to later.
Mm-hmm.
But to kind of commemorate the moment where we didn't know what this was going to be.
Yeah. I can't be on the internet for a while because people in Boise, Idaho have already seen it.
Damn.
Because Aaron Paul's from Boise and he hosted this thing at the theater where the free event. You just had to call in and get your ticket. Free event. And you go there and you watch this episode in the theater with Aaron Paul hosting.
That's awesome.
And yeah, so it makes, for once in my life, I wanted to live in Idaho.
You don't get often. There's not many times in life you get to say that.
Yeah. What the fuck is that?
That is...
I'm looking at this bizarre face on Sean's computer screen. It's
I'm not Sean.
or Ken's computer screen.
By the way, I'm Ken.
Oh.
I'm Ken.
I'm Otto.
I'm Sean.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've been
Ken.
introduced.
Yeah. Anyway, this picture, that is a shot from the episode Smile Time from Angel. It's the episode where Angel, the dark brooding character that is always like upset about everything and never has any happiness, the episode that he gets turned into a Muppet. And they have to figure out how to fix that.
I thought it was something from like Team America World Police or some shit like that.
Matt Damon.
I do love Team America, but that's an exceptional episode of Angel. If anyone ever gets a chance to see that.
So yeah.
But hey, yeah, we'll talk about specifics of Breaking Bad at the end of the episode when we get into that. So, elephant in the room. Where's the cinematic trailer?
Well, part of it is that there are still drawings that need to be done because we realized right at the end of it, we had a checklist of all the drawings that we needed done.
Yeah.
We got all of the ones on the checklist done, and I'm sitting there editing it, and I was like, Sean, we're missing like 8 shots. And it turns out these weren't on the checklist. So we still got to do those. We've gotten a couple of them done, and I think you've got 2 more that you got to do. You got to do the Talia
in
waking
the eyes thing,
and
then the map with him crossing off.
Yeah.
Which I've got the map drawn. I just need to draw him with something in his hand.
Yeah, like a quill.
Yeah.
But yeah, so technically there are 4 drawings that need done, and now that Sean's working so much for the city, he hasn't had a lot of time to do that, and I can't draw worth shit, so until he gets those drawings to me, there's nothing really I can do. The other problem is voice actors. We finally got our Batman back, but he's apparently working 3 jobs, which I had difficulty working 1. So kudos to him. But the other problem is just the audio quality is like he recorded it on his iPhone or something, and it's so fucking quiet. Like I don't know if I can louden it up enough to make it actually even listenable to.
Then I'd have to guess he didn't record it on his iPhone, or it would sound great. Said the guy who was an Apple whore the entire last episode. Anyway, continue. I'm sorry.
But we got him. I'm if I'm able to clean up the audio, we've got that. And we were in talks with Brock Baker for voicing Ra's al Ghul and Alfred. As it turns out, that ended up not working out. It was just those voices aren't really in his range. They're both really low, and he has sort of a middle ranged voice. Yeah. So, but he recommended me to someone that he thought would work pretty well, and they haven't gotten back to me yet.
Right on.
So, but until we get those, then. But the animatic's going to be a little while, I think.
That's fine, because we don't want to release anything until we're happy with it.
Right.
Yeah. I just thought we owed that explanation since
Good call.
It seemed so soon at one point.
Mm-hmm.
But we have gotten good response on our record time sequence.
Yeah, that we have. We've everyone who has seen it has thought very highly of it.
Yep.
So
I saw it on a big screen TV.
yeah, there you go.
It's pretty good. That was a really cool experience. Usually I'm seeing it on the computer screen, but to see it up on
TV's been
Chris's
nice.
TV, yeah, oh my god.
Yeah, when we were here, I promoted it on my television. So it was.
It's just nice to see something, that you're used to seeing kind of just in a little screen just blown up to the size of, a movie or a television show. It just seems right.
Yeah.
And Patrick Gertz is the Joker. Oh my god.
Oh,
That's
great. That fucking guy.
Voice.
Agreed. It's awesome. I've watched it a few times.
Yeah.
Just because
I have to
gets me
watch it
stoned.
I have to watch it every once in a while just to be like, oh shit.
it's like just a glimmer of the future. It keeps me going a little. Not that it's hard to keep going.
And the words, the dialogue is great, but just with that voice mixed in with it, and there's a depth there
Mm-hmm.
that
Yeah.
I mean, even when y'all were talking about it, I was hearing it. You give line readings for it.
It doesn't really resonate until you hear
No,
it.
those words are powerful and sharp. I mean, they're daggers, to an extent that I don't even realize, the true magnitude of what he was saying at points until you heard that guy say them in just that voice in that way.
Yeah, he's
really
twisting
worked
the
character.
knife.
Yeah, but it's so in character for the Joker. I mean, it sounds right.
Yeah, and the thing is that Christian Cook, who's been on the podcast for a while, was very confused that we had the Joker going so wordy for that scene. But I mean, when you look at, he had a whole monologue in Return of the Joker that was just, I mean, it was dark as shit.
Yeah. Some of the darkest writing they've done, to my opinion.
Oh yeah, that flashback sequence is like
yeah.
the apotheosis of the darkness that the DCIU can have.
Yeah. I mean, it's not The Great Ghost.
Right.
Sorry, that's my favorite.
It's a great episode. It really is.
That one and The Clock King are some of my favorite episodes.
Yeah.
But just having Adam West voice the character for
Yeah, that's
Batman
great.
was- it
We're gonna
just
have
felt right.
we're gonna have an appearance of him, of the Grey Ghost.
The Grey Ghost.
It's gonna be awesome.
So awesome. So awesome.
I see you made us a Twitter, Ken. I'm gonna guess it was you.
Yeah, that was the next thing I was gonna announce. Yeah, we are on Twitter. You can follow us at Project Batman, and there's an underscore between Project and Batman because some douchebag thought he needed Project Batman before us for some reason.
It's a promising local band in Boise.
Who are tonight going to watch?
Oh, I hate those guys.
Those fucking
They are
assholes.
ruining our night.
And the worst part is they don't even play good music. They just play like fucking One Direction covers.
It's a lot of disco ska, actually. Really.
It's
Really
a
next
disco
level.
ska tribute
Yeah.
to One Direction.
No.
Sadly, I would
It's an
listen to that.
episode
Tell me
title.
what that is.
I do want to know that.
Episode title right there. A disco ska tribute to One Direction.
Awesome.
Yeah, I don't know One Direction enough to riff off that.
Basically, imagine...
I mean, I know the band. I'm aware of them.
Imagine 5 Justin Biebers.
Well,
All
I
at
think
once.
least one of them is kind of Irish, isn't he?
Okay, imagine 5 Justin Biebers, one of them slightly Irish.
Oh. Yeah.
Interestingly, I think they... I didn't see it, but this documentary, this new one that's in theaters about One Direction, it's directed by Morgan Spurlock.
What?
Yeah, like the great documentary filmmaker of our time.
Oh, wow.
And the reason he chose to do it is because he says they're not like Justin Bieber. Like the whole theme that resonates throughout it is like that they realize that like this is their time and they're appreciating it and they're not just douching it up. Like they're just like, these are our songs and it's probably going to go away soon and we're just going to be nobodies, so let's enjoy it while it happens. Whereas Justin Bieber's just like,
I can ride this out forever.
yeah, he's just more douchey
I
every
am
time
the
we hear
king.
from him.
But, oh man, I saw one though where One Direction were walking across the one road where the Beatles walked across.
Abbey Road.
Abbey Road.
Yeah, they were walking across Abbey Road and had a picture taken of it, I guess, for one of their album covers or something like that.
Wow.
And then somebody took that and juxtaposed with it Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 screaming, "How dare you stand where they stood!"
Aw.
That's great. So what is that thing that's been on Reddit a lot the past like 2 or 3 days with Bieber on Instagram with the script for Batman versus Superman and saying it was like hashtag Robin?
There's no way that's happening.
Yeah, no way in hell. They've seen his acting on CSI.
He was on CSI.
He was on CSI. He got shot like 30 times.
Really?
Oh yeah, no, it's
Yeah, in all fairness, though, and I'm not defending Justin Bieber, but if you were on CSI, wouldn't you want to be shot 30 times?
no. I'd want to shoot 30 people.
Well, it really, if you're a guest star on CSI, isn't it? That's in the bag.
That's
you're
going to
gonna
happen.
I mean, I think that's why a lot of people saw enjoyed seeing Paris Hilton in like House of Wax. You
Oh,
just
yeah.
get to see her die. I don't remember how she ate it.
Apparently, she's a really, really nice person.
Yeah, I've
Aw.
heard that too.
Well, now I feel bad for all the jokes I made about her. Thanks, Otto. She's a person. Damn it. Well, that kind of brings up, this is way off topic, guest directors on TV shows. I have usually always loved that. Like the
Yeah.
CSI episode that Quentin Tarantino directed
That was really good.
was amazing.
Never saw it.
I
I could
saw it
watch
like 10
that
times.
show like all day long.
Mm-hmm.
Why isn't that a bigger thing, though? I mean, it doesn't seem like...
I mean, tonight's episode of Breaking Bad.
Well, I know. I mean,
There's-
that's... But exactly.
You know what?
Why, is it just the scheduling it gets hard, or...
I don't know.
I don't know.
Hopefully, it'll become a bigger thing.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
I think as people have more awareness of who directors are,
Yeah. Yeah, like now we're just now entering this time where like Vince Gilligan, like this writer, is somebody who's
can be a hero.
he's a personality,
Yeah.
which like
I would actually be able to pick him out of a crowd.
yeah, like, and I feel like that didn't happen till a few years ago with like maybe Joss Whedon and Damon
Yeah.
Lindelof and Carlton Cuse.
Yeah. That's kind of the first generation of guys that really, not just got a credit appreciation for what they were doing. Like, I know what Larry David did Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now you kind of have an appreciation of him, but
but you really
well,
didn't
it
even
was
know that
on.
about
I
him.
had no idea who that guy
Yeah,
was.
you really didn't know until like
It
that
was
was
a
his
credit.
personality in Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That show's funny as hell.
Yeah, Curb Your... That's really good.
yeah. I guess I'll bring this up since I've been really into it lately, and that got brought up. Jeff Garlin of Curb Your Enthusiasm has his own podcast called by the way, in conversation with Jeff Garlin, and every single episode is just a conversation in front of an audience with like a guest, and he like knows everyone in Hollywood, and like every conversation just by having his presence there turns it. The whole vibe is a Curb Your Enthusiasm skit, always,
Really?
no matter who it's with, and like there's like. Speaking of Breaking Bad, there's an episode with Vince Gilligan, there's one with Matt Weiner, then there's a bunch of comedians like Conan O'Brien, Aziz Ansari, Amy Poehler.
I have to hear this podcast.
Yeah, it's really good. I recommend it.
Remember this.
I've been really into it lately. But anyway, follow please. This will be the easiest way. If Libsyn is maybe just lying to tell us these numbers that people are listening to this, so we keep doing this, or maybe because we never hear back from most people. Twitter will be the easiest way to tell who actually is following this and cares about us, and the easiest way to give us like the most direct feedback. So please follow us at _Batman.
Tweet it.
I retweet it whenever I tweet from them. So I hope that doesn't do the opposite effect, which is just make my account lose followers. But so I created this flowchart sort of thing that is like every scene in our movie. We can either read that if you want or not, but it really like is broken down by like scene number, the setting, what happens in it, the button at the end of the scene, and whether it flows into the next scene with a therefore or a but. And did you happen to read that?
I did manage to read it. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. So it all works, do you think?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm wondering if it's simple enough that if we were to read it, if Matt would be able to follow it. Or if it...
I'm incredibly stupid, so there's no chance.
Well, yeah, I'm just worried there's not enough info specified in each scene, since it's only like one line, that maybe you wouldn't, so I wouldn't hold it against you.
I don't know. That'd be kind of an interesting exercise, though.
Yeah, let's try that.
Yeah.
Okay, alright. So, I'm going to skip the scene numbers, I'm just going to read. We'll just test this out, see how it goes. No, I'm not going to skip the numbers, because now it makes sense as I'm going to start. Scene 1. Setting: The Alchemist Cabin, Ostia, Italy, 1463. What happens? Ra's al Ghul arrives to fight the alchemist, who has just created a serum. Button. Now the button, just to be clear, that's the thing that happens at the end of the scene that makes the audience go, oh, or now I have that information, or here's how we get to the next scene. Okay, so the button of Ra's going to the alchemist cabin is Ra's decapitates the alchemist. Therefore, scene 2. Outside the alchemist cabin. Ra's al Ghul exits the house with the alchemist's staff and a sample of his serum. The button, the house explodes, and Ra's walks into the screen. Therefore, scene 3. Ra's fortress, New Cuba, 2009. Ra's tests his new Abaddon weapon and orders Ubu to have more made. The button, we close in on Ra's eyes after establishing his evil intentions. Therefore, scene 4. Various classic Batman the Animated Series scenarios. It's an opening credit sequence where we depict classic villains being taken down by Batman and Robin. The button is we end on the directed by scene. And we're going to stop there for a second because that was one of the notes I made to bring up here. When we get more closer to animating everything all together, we'll come up with various like sequences or shots for different credits. But what do you guys want the directed by, the final like whether it's a scene or just a shot or something that reminisces to Batman the Animated Series to be before we go into the movie?
Oh, that's simple. The shot of him standing on the building with the lightning behind him.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, that works.
Alright. Therefore, scene 5. Joe's Tavern, Gotham City. Commissioner Gordon meets with Batman to tell him he's retiring from GPD. The button: Gordon gets a call about a robbery and Batman disappears. Therefore, Scene 6, Gotham First Bank and Trust. Batman gets shot in an attempt to stop 2 bank robbers. The button. The criminals escape and Batman barely pulls himself out before GPD arrives. Therefore, Scene 7, the Batcave. If this gets too boring or monotonous, somebody interrupt me at any point. Alright, Batcave. Alfred tends to Batman's wounds as Batman laments his age. The button. Alfred assists Bruce in realizing he could continue with the suit upgrade. But, Scene 8, Public Park, Paris, France. A massive Abaddon attack is dispensed on the city in the form of an orange gas. Button. A biplane flies away from the attack. Therefore, Scene 9, the Batcave. There's 31 scenes, we're at Scene 9. Batman collapses while testing his bat armor suit. Alfred alerts him of the attacks in Paris. The button. Bruce almost leaves, but Alfred convinces him to stay to formulate a plan. But, Scene 10, Raish's Fortress, New Cuba. Raish crosses off Paris, and Ubu alerts him how much Abaddon they have left. The button. Raish orders Ubu to use all of the Abaddon for attacks and to continue making more. But, Scene 11, Wayne Manor. Alfred rises early to prepare Bruce's breakfast. The button. Upon delivery to Bruce's bedroom, Alfred realizes he's already awake. Therefore, he goes to the Batcave. Batman and Alfred theorize what villains could be involved and discuss a new Batsuit when they witness more Abaddon attacks live on the news. The button. Bruce makes a quick decision to go see if anyone else has any information about anything. Therefore, Scene 13, outside a mountain, Colorado. Bruce activates some secret thing to open up a passageway. The button. Reveal his entry into a top secret meeting place for the United Nations. Therefore, Scene 14, Intermountain Meeting Chamber. Superman vouches for Bruce. Bruce learns that nobody knows anything about the attacks. The button. Bruce and Superman speak about things, and Bruce says he's got this, basically. Therefore, they go to Scene 15, Paris, France. Batman arrives to play detective and finds Talia there. The button is while they scuffle or argue, they see a dog and follow it to see why it lived through the attack. Therefore, a local home in Paris, France. They find a family in a bomb cellar and take their dog's blood as a sample. The button. As Batman leaves, Talia convinces him to bring her to check the Lazarus Pits. Therefore, a Lazarus Pit, somewhere near Milan, Italy. Batman and Talia arrive to find the Lazarus Pits are dying. The button. They discuss their personal issues, leading into a flashback. Therefore, Scene 18, in the desert. Unspecified location. It's a flashback to right after we last see Raish and Talia in the episode The Demon Reborn and Superman the Animated Series. In a flashback, Raish and Talia discuss their defeat with Batman and Superman. The button is Raish disowns Talia, citing that she is kryptonite to his plans. Therefore, we flash back to the Lazarus Pit. Talia finishes telling her story to Bruce, and the button there is they decide to spend a night in a local city, which is Milan. Therefore, the next scene is at a local bistro in Milan, Italy. Bruce and Talia discuss everything at dinner. It slowly turns into a date. An onlooker reports something. The button. They dance together, and we fade out on a moment of serenity. But, Scene 21. Hotel room, Milan, Italy. Bruce and Talia awake to an attack from a Society of Shadows member who activates a attack on the city. The button is they barely escape and decide they need to find Raish's Fortress ASAP. But, at Raish's Fortress in New Cuba, Raish holds audience with the Clock King and discusses his plans and intentions of hiring him. The Button is the Clock King agrees on the condition that Raish recreates his time belt. Therefore, in the Batcave, Batman arrives, studies samples of Abaddon and Lazarus, and the Clock King and Ubu arrive in an ambush. The Button, Ubu kills Alfred, Ubu kills himself out of dishonor, and Batman freaks out. Therefore, we go up to Wayne Manor, the study. Talia tries to console Bruce. He shoots her off. He hallucinates the Joker speaking for his subconscious. The Button, Bruce refuses to let his darkness overtake him, and he rushes to the cave. Therefore, in the Batcave, Bruce puts on Alfred's updated Batsuit and tries out his obstacle course for the first time in it. The Button, Bruce scores record time and smiles at Talia. Faith renewed. Therefore, scene 26. Outside Raish's fortress, hundreds of yards away. Batman and Talia quickly recap their plan. The Button is a plane takes off, they kiss, and Batman goes for it. Therefore, scene 27 takes place on the plane in the sky. Batman takes down the weaponized plane and saves the Society of Shadows members on board. The Button is he arrives at the fortress and enters and starts taking down Society of Shadow members. Therefore, the next scene we have underground Raish's fortress. Now, this is going to be basically intercut of the previous scene of Batman working his way through Raish's fortress. It's Talia makes her way to the plant where the Abaddon's created and fights her way to the source. The Button is she sabotages the operation and survives the blow with their cure. The cure I'll bring up later. That's something we haven't talked about yet. Therefore, scene 29. Main chamber, Raish's fortress. Batman versus Raish. Talia intervenes to save Batman. Raish is defeated after being injected with Abaddon. The Button. Talia abandons Batman for her father, who kills her and takes over her body. Therefore, scene 30, Wayne Manor, study. Bruce watches news on TV of Raish inside Talia, using the Society of Shadows to help restore global damage. The Button. Bruce turns off the TV and mention of the rise of the robber who shot him on the news. Therefore, scene 31, Gotham First Bank and Trust. The robber is generally cocky and in charge of other men robbing the bank. The Button. Batman shows up, says, "Remember me," punches him. End.
There was one thing that I was confused by, and I forget what it was. Let me see. Oh, yeah. The Bruce activating some secret thing to open a passageway to get to the mountain meeting.
Yeah.
What was that all about?
Well, that was just showing...
Is that a placeholder?
Well, sort of, yeah. I mean, that we just have to show him... I was counting, like, literally every little thing in between each big scene, too. So that was just, like, him arriving at the mountain meeting and just revealing that he knows his way in. Or I mean, when I was writing shit like that, that's shit to talk about with you guys, to be like, okay, so how is that going to go? We need to show him getting there and getting
we had discussed that he had found out through, because he's got, like, he's got pretty good tabs on, I guess, what the government is doing or whatever, and that he found out about the meeting, and so he gets there, but they don't want to let him in, but Superman actually lets him in, and that's when they speak. Right.
But where's the entrance? That's just me saying we need to show him getting there.
Oh, okay, but his conversation will take place at the opening of the mountain, is what you're saying.
Or doesn't have to. I figured it would be, he would know where the secret entrance is, he goes in, and then once, like, we reveal, like, oh shit, there's, like, this underground thing, then, like, he walks to where, like, there's, like, a guarded area, and they're like, you can't get in. And that's when Superman vouches for him.
Yeah, because I think the entrance to the particular base, it's not, like, hidden or whatever, it's just they've got guards at the front.
Oh, because I thought it was like stuck way deep in a mountain.
It is, but there's like a shaft. It's the mountain that was in Independence Day. It's an actual place.
Okay.
NORAD.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's NORAD, right? I
Some
think it's NORAD. Yeah.
some mountain out in Colorado.
So, I'm sorry, this is not going to be in your movie. But, the Batmobile at a checkpoint getting searched. Just awesome. The whole guards going around with the mirror on the stick.
That's awesome. I love that. I would love a scene like early before Batman and Gordon knew each other, where Gordon just like pulls Batman over.
Tries to give him a speeding ticket.
Yeah.
License and registration, please.
I see your ID.
No. I never leave home without it.
And then and you brought up The Cure.
Okay, so The Cure. All right, I took a. I know I do this like to you guys every week, and I'm sorry you have to suffer through me doing this, but as I write things, I get more ideas for other shit, and just write them down in notes, and I'm always going to throw them out to you, and they're just ideas that hit me in the moment that I probably might not even remember. We're going to find out together what they are and what they were about, and we'll get to The Cure. It's somewhere in this list. Okay. The shot of Batman falling to the ground and panting in the bank would be awesome if we made that mirror like exactly the shot of Ra's falling to the ground and panting at the alchemist's cabin. Boom. You're welcome.
That is awesome. That could work, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Nice.
Okay. I still want to have like there's that line that makes Bruce realize that he needs to make a new suit, and that's when Alfred says something like, sometimes, whether we like to admit it or not, there are too many signs for us to ignore. I'd like to, after Alfred dies, use that line again, like as to like mean just like some like hidden emotional like thing in Bruce. I thought a good time to use that would be after Alfred dies, when Talia's trying to talk him into getting back up on the horse and like trying to fight this whole thing out. That could be the last thing she says to Bruce before she exits the room is like, sometimes, whether we like to admit it or not, there are too many signs for us to ignore. She closes the door. As she closes the door, Joker's like on the other side of the door, and he responds to that line to Bruce. Basically meaning like what Bruce's pessimistic mind would say to that before accepting that those were Alfred's words and he needs to get back up there.
Right. I'm thinking. The only thing is that she can't say exactly those words. She has the same idea, but paraphrase it.
Oh, you don't want to use the same thing?
How weird would it be if she was to say exactly the same words that Alfred had said earlier when she wasn't present for that conversation?
Well, that's coincidences happen in movies like that all the time.
But that works with a small phrase like "Why do we fall?" but not, a standalone entire sentence.
Okay, I get what you're saying. As long as it's similar enough that like we can make a connection.
Right. It's got to be a spark there, but yeah, the idea works really well.
Okay. Word. All right. I don't know why I wrote this. In I Am the Night, that episode, Batman says, Jim Gordon's the same age my father would have been if he hadn't... ... Gordon later says in the episode, maybe if I had been younger, I could have been like you. That's the entire note. I have no idea why I wrote it. I, for some reason, thought that'd be relevant. Or somehow we could use it, but I don't know.
So he's the same age as his father if his father hadn't died.
Yeah.
But Jim Gordon says, if I were younger, I could be like you.
Yeah.
Which is almost like a man of his father's age telling him, if only he were younger, he could be you. It's maybe
look,
sort of
they
like
look
a
up to each other.
Yeah.
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 But
They each
for
wanna be
him,
the
it
other
must
one.
be kind of a validation of a father figure to have him say, what you do is
Right.
worthwhile enough that if I were younger, I'd be doing that.
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe
No.
maybe that's the only reason I wrote it.
if I were
is 'cause,
younger,
like-
I'd understand Twitter. So that's cool. Not old, shut up.
Can you imagine Commissioner Gordon's Twitter profile? What does he tweet about? Joker on loose again.
Night ruined with Barbara.
He really he doesn't tweet because he wants to. That's just how Gotham gets immediate reports on things as opposed
my
to the
gosh.
news.
Sandy's Pilates stand. Awful. That gets 1 rumpf on the 4 rumpf Gordon scale.
All right. Well, before I continue with these notes, Matt, how did that scene flow sound to you? Like,
I mean, I admit I'm kind of behind on the podcast.
Yeah.
So I kind of know a few things from what Sean and a few things from what Otto's told me about where it's gone.
yeah,
But it makes a lot of sense from what I knew of the story, but it filmed in a lot too. And it was interesting to kind of see, because I know the way you've kind of structured it, the way you're supposed to structure the movie, each scene needs to kind of have a purpose and a flow to it.
yeah,
So it's kind of neat to see how that actually it works. You guys did it. Like, you have but therefore, sort of a alignment to it, so that even scenes that are, say, crossing between Batman doing something mundane, like, well, I'm making a new suit now,
yeah.
but then there's the scene of race, but they don't conflict. They're not just randomly inserted. They make a sense story-wise because of this fact or this thing.
Yeah.
It's sort of the every action has a consequence theory.
Right.
Life. So it's kind of neat to actually see your story play out that way, and have it be. I mean, it's linear. It makes sense.
Cool.
Yeah, that's
It has
the
a
thing I
flow
was
to it.
thinking is, so when he said it all out like that, there wasn't a single moment where I thought, oh, well, that feels like a
That's
scene that
sticking
just
out.
pushes
Yeah.
the story through.
You're trying to put that in there so you can get to this next point.
Yeah, I didn't
like there's
feel
never
that.
a part where I said, well, that's weak.
Yeah.
No, everything kind of made sense.
Cool. Awesome.
The dog living though, come on. Why does the dog have to live? I mean, it's a thing everybody does. You can't kill a dog in movies. You can kill lots of people, but you can't kill the dog.
Screenwriting 101.
It is, I know. You
Save,
can't
sa-
do it.
Save the cat.
I Am Legend.
I'm aware of that film.
Honestly,
Omega Man was pretty good.
yeah. But honestly, with I Am Legend, and this is not because the dog dies, but this has just always been my feeling. But up through that moment, the moment the dog dies, that movie goes completely off the rails. And it's not because the dog dies. I just hate every moment after
that moment.
But I feel like it's such a great movie, and I cannot stress this enough. I say it's a great movie until the dog dies, but it's not because of that.
The movie just took a weird turn
Yeah.
after that point. Well,
yeah.
if we're gonna kill a dog, everything's on the table. Let's just do it.
I thought that was a great scene. I love that scene.
Yeah, it was a great scene.
Yeah.
You're totally right about that, though.
Yeah, that's weird. Actually, I hadn't thought about it that way.
It's so true.
I was just kind of more surprised that they killed a dog in a movie.
Yeah. Alrighty. Alright, continuing. I have here as this note, let's have it be a part of Raish's manipulative plan that he expects the Justice League to rule. In a, what are they going to say? No, there will be no one else left to do so kind of way. Just sort of include that in his thing to the Clock King when he's defining his convictions of or to Batman at the end, just saying and you've already set up the ruling class for me once I've taken care of everything. Just make it seem like the inevitable thing is part of his plan anyway. I don't know if that's really important. It's just a thought I had.
But yeah, because I think it would be really weird to do our movie in the same way that Iron Man 3 did, where it's just like it's good that the Avengers didn't appear in Iron Man 3, but the fact they weren't even mentioned at all felt really weird considering it took place right after the Avengers.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought so. You'd think he'd at least mention, oh, hey, yeah, something to do with
If only Thor were here.
Yeah.
I can see your point.
I
didn't think about it when I was watching it, but I see it.
Yeah, I found it to be really awkward.
I mean, I thought they tried to block that entire thing by just doing the whole, like, him having that post-traumatic stress or whatever from it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, to me, that was kind of... Like, I was thinking that the whole time. Like, admittedly, I thought that the entire movie. I was like, why don't they just call the Avengers? Or why not make them more featured? But then, like, in the same way that comic books work, like, that's the point of the movie. Is like, this is Iron Man 3. Like, it can be based off of those events in the Avengers, but, like, it's just an Iron Man story. And, like how is he going to deal with this? And, like, I guess it's harder to do, like, on the screen as opposed to comic books because, you know, it's like chapters and they're like linear, whereas like a comic book you could just pick it up and, well, if you've never seen Iron Man 1 or 2 before, maybe you could enjoy Iron Man 3, but like not as much.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm just saying, like, I think they try to do that comic book thing, even though we're all aware the other characters exist. They really just wanted to focus on him.
Mm-hmm.
And as a character piece, I think that works, but there are a lot of, like, loose logic holes in that movie because of that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that made any sense, or if it didn't really matter.
Oh.
I mean, the way I think of it, though, I think of it as like in Batman Beyond, there was a 2-part episode called The Call, wherein Terry is invited to join the Justice League. With Superman is still at the helm of the Justice League. The other members are retired. There's a couple of new ones. There's a new Green Lantern. Hawk Girl and Jon Stewart's kid is there. His name's Warhawk. There's a couple other ones. Static is in the new Justice League, I believe. I'm not 100% sure. And as it turns out, Superman ends up being possessed by some sort of parasite or whatever, and as it turns out, it makes him look like he's a traitor or something like that. But it's actually like taking over his mind and making him do bad shit. It was weird because that episode took place before the Justice League series even came into fruition. I mean, that episode came out in like season 3, so like 2001, and Justice League didn't come out until like 2004.
Huh.
Wow.
But the fact is that Batman mentions having been in the Justice League himself. You know, Bruce mentions this. He's like, I never made it past part-time, but I was in the Justice League, and, you know, and Superman and I worked together and stuff like that. And so he mentions this, and it makes sense. It would be really weird if that episode had been like, Batman makes no mention of ever having been in the Justice League, and then immediately later in the story is in the Justice League. I mean, there's some very pivotal things happened to Bruce Wayne while he was in the Justice League, and to make no mention of them whatsoever would be strange.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Which was my thoughts. Which is my thoughts on the matter, and why, especially this story taking place only a few years after he leaves the Justice League.
Right. No, I hear you. Yeah. Word up. Like I said, that was a weird thought anyway. Alright, so just to be clear, how much info do we have on what Talia says at the end of the movie, like on the news? Like, what's established?
What is established for sure is that she puts the Society of Shadows. I think she actually like disbands the Society of Shadows and uses her father's money to start helping clean up the world and fix all the shit that... to quote the episode, since the near apocalypse of 09, you've been putting your father's money to use cleaning up the mess he made. So that's what that's established. It's also established that people know that Batman was involved in stopping the conflict.
Okay, and that comes up.
Like Terry actually knew of this beforehand.
Okay. Alright. And that's going to come back up in a few minutes when I get to another point. Alright, next bullet point. Alright. This is crazy. And if it doesn't work, let me know. But it was just a thought. Alright, Batman lets the UN from the mountain meeting in on it being Ra's. A fucking army accompanies him and Talia to Ra's fortress for the climax. And on the way in, Ra's wipes out the entire field of their forces with Abaddon, or a lot of them. And the commander, whatever, is like, we don't know what to do. And Batman's all like, we'll take care of this. And that's when him and Talia go to figure it out. And this is how the world knows that Batman saved them. And we can just bring it to a global scale of everything with that. The world versus Ra's al Ghul, it all being televised. And Batman is the tipping point. But either way, Ra's would love for the world to see on TV, like, Abaddon wiping out, like United Nations army.
Actually, I believe we had actually discussed this last episode.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Last episode or episode before. I think that was discussed.
Okay.
And I forget where we ended up standing on that.
I remember we liked the idea of having the Abaddon wiping out people there in front of the castle or the fortress there.
Mm-hmm.
What if he had some Abaddon gun, like as well as this Abaddon bombing process, but like some like thing that shot it in a straight line? I don't know.
Like a flamethrower.
I don't know if that worked, but I had thought at one point, and I don't know how well it would work, of
some alternative weapon.
We know that Ra's guys use guns. Mm-hmm. You know, they're like armed with rifles and stuff. And what if the bullets had like Abaddon in them or something like that?
Oh, okay.
You know, like a hollow point bullet tipped with Abaddon serum in it.
Yeah.
Yes, it may be something like that. I don't know if there's a point where we would actually be able to bring up and have it make sense that the bullets have Abaddon in them. Maybe if he...
There is a point, and that'll come up later.
Okay.
All right. So, but how do we feel about just having like that, be televised? Like have the world at his door once Batman discovers who it is. Like once Batman knows it's Ra's, and he goes. I don't know. The way I opened up that note is Batman lets the UN in on it being Ra's. And then
the Justice League wouldn't be too happy about that, though. Like, the Justice League wouldn't knowingly let Batman go do this by himself.
That's true.
Batman does it without them knowing, which was the point of him talking to Superman. Right. He told them stay out of this.
Okay. Yeah.
So, I still kind of like that army scene, but...
Can we figure out an alternate way for the world to... or a portion of the world to find out that he's there or something?
Maybe it's not taking place outside of Ra's fortress, but he notices an army assembling somewhere and decides, okay, well, before they mobilize, let's immobilize them.
Okay.
Something to that.
Yeah, that could just be one of his targets. Like, one of his many targets is like, wow, I'm hitting these cities, I noticed they're gearing up over here.
I just figured out why that won't work.
Okay.
It would be a really cool scene, but it won't work because, remember, Ra's al Ghul is attacking non-military targets. He's attacking population centers.
Okay.
Well, let me ask you a question. I guess there's like a scene in the movie Independence Day where the aliens have already taken out big centers, and halfway through the movie, they decide the Americans decide they want to use like a nuclear weapon against them, and so they do it like over Houston. I mean, obviously a big population center, a big city, but it's not L.A. or New York or D.C. This is like a second, third string city that the aliens are now on in the roster of important places we need to blow up.
Right.
So, say, Raish is getting ready to take out a city of significance, but maybe not that, like, not on the scale of Rome or Paris or, London, Edinburgh. He's going after Edinburgh, Scotland, and the Scottish people are pissed, and everyone's out there. The military is cordoning off the city because we don't know, it could come. This is our major city. We've got Glasgow, we've got Edinburgh. That's it. We put people in these two places, and surely he can't get through that. And his point is more of just, no, I can get you anywhere. It's more of a world fighting against a threat they still don't understand, and him, maybe in his thinking of, well, there's not much to understand. I can do this to you whenever I want to.
Yeah, something like that might work.
Stop. Yeah.
And it's like I think we should look for a part in the movie where that might make sense, but for the moment, let's just keep the idea on the shelf.
Okay.
But let's keep the dust off of it.
Okay, yeah. So, how does the world at large know that Batman saved everyone?
That, I believe, Talia mentions on the news.
Okay.
We could almost have a scene of Superman watching the news at the same time, and he's just sitting there like, God damn it, Bruce.
That's awesome. I really like that. I don't know.
I would love to see him just sitting in the couch being like, God damn it.
That'd just be a scene at the end of the credits. We just show like in Gotham they put up a Batman statue or whatever, and just like it pans out to be on a TV on the news, and Superman's just like shaking his head or something like that.
Wow.
Okay. In episode 27, I don't think we came up with the best reason for them to have the Batwing later on. After the Paris scene, he should go back to the Batcave to analyze it, find out there's Lazarus inside, switch to Batwing mode with restocked classic Batsuits, and then they can go on the journey with that. The reason they return to the Batcave later for the ambush, though, is to see the new Batsuit.
I don't think that's enough reason to pull him out of Europe. I don't think they're gonna. That would be weird because he'd end up going to Europe, back to the Batcave, and then back to Europe.
Yeah, and he's got to be analyzing all that shit when the ambush happens.
Right. I mean, I don't think finishing the Batsuit is going to be enough reason to pull him all the way back from Europe unless they're done. In which case, the ambush doesn't work. If he goes back there and immediately tests the Batsuit,
right,
they need to be doing something between then.
Right. Okay. While Talia is switching bodies with Raish, Batman's sabotaging the final Lazarus pit at the fortress, or what we think is the final Lazarus pit. And that could be something that's taking up time before he exits while they switch bodies. Because it's really not going to take that long for him to be like, alright, this is over, I'm leaving. From that point of time to him exiting is not going to take as long as it takes Raish to convince Talia to switch bodies, and for them to switch, and for him to walk out and then go after Batman.
Oh, that's simple. 1, Batman is limping. 2, so he's not moving very fast. And 2, the whole body switching process really doesn't take long at all.
Okay.
Yeah, but Batman is very injured. The only thing actually holding him together in some spots is the neuromuscular amplification of the suit. I already discussed his arm is shattered.
Okay, I guess
the suit is holding it together.
I guess more the point I was trying to make is that would be something more symbolic of like destroying Raish's like legacy by like what he believes is the last Lazarus pit there at the fortress. Like that could be something Raish says in their discussion before the fight or during the fight when he jumps in or whatever. Like that could be something like Batman limping or like injured or whatever can do is like just find a way to like fill that in or like whatever, destroy it before leaving.
Now, I've had a thought before that I haven't brought up because I kind of didn't want to do it, but it might actually work here. And the thing is that we can't have Batman destroy that Lazarus pit if it's the same Lazarus pit that they end up at in Batman Beyond, the one that's in the basement of his fortress in New Cuba.
Mm-hmm.
If he destroys the Lazarus pit, why the hell is there a Lazarus pit there 40 years later?
Well, that can be what's at the end of the credits, is we think Batman destroyed it, but it's like the Godzilla dinosaur egg. It's just like there bubbling still. I'm just kidding. Go continue.
But the thought I have had...
That did happen.
But the thought...
That sequel's coming. Sorry.
Is it really?
No.
But the thought I had was, what if we have a new location? Not the fortress in New Cuba. Because, one, it would be kind of strange for Batman to, in Out of the Past, the Batman Beyond episode, it would be very strange for him to be in the room that he last fought Ra's al Ghul in.
And not mention it?
And not mention that that was the last place they had met. It'd also be very strange. I mean, he's in the house the whole time.
Right.
If we have a similar fortress in a different location on a different Lazarus pit, we could have him destroy the Lazarus pit, hell, even destroy the fortress, and then it would actually work for them to be in New Cuba later.
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I had thought of that, and we had invested a bit in using that fortress, but I'm thinking a similar fortress, like a similar layout fortress, because I'm sure Ra's designs these things.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So, something similar, but then we can do other shit, like actually have portions of the fortress get destroyed in the fight or whatever, and it would also explain why because all the Abaddon shit is going on in the basement of his fortress. Why the hell is it? What is it? Just suddenly not there? Did Ra's and Talia go through the effort of removing all of this shit? I mean, it kind of makes sense to have a different location. So we would have to come up with a place for Ra's to have a new fortress, and then perhaps the fortress is destroyed or at least crippled at the end of it, but then Batman could actually destroy the Lazarus pit or something. So
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
So think on a location for that. We don't have to decide that now, but we'll think about it. I like that though. That logic hadn't even occurred to me of him not bringing it up in Batman Beyond.
Right. I mean, something like that is bound to be brought up.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, he's got chemical weapons. Is he in Syria?
Damascus! New Damascus!
All right. Talia should get something from them doing research on the Abaddon. A cure to make it not affect her. So, when she blows the factory, or sabotages it and everybody in there or whatever, she can escape alive. Perhaps we can reveal that she used the cure after the gas clears, and we thought she, sacrificed herself to blow it up or whatever. It just like it blew up in an intense moment. We thought she was dead. Then like after the smoke clears or whatever, she looks satisfied with herself, and we reveal that she had like used the cure before heading back to the main fight. Just basically because we still need to come up with a sweet action bit for her to do, like to sabotage the Abaddon, for it to be interesting enough to juxtapose with Batman fighting all of these guards in the Society of Shadows. I don't know what this cure would be, but it could just be something simple that like while they're doing research, like he comes up with like a anti-Abaddon or something, and like she just pockets it, and he's like, "What's that for?" And she's like, "Just in case." And it's just like a little moment or something like that. It could be something someone drinks, or like a shot, or I don't know. I was just the genesis of this idea was just me trying to come up with an interesting way to show her sabotaging the factory at Raish's fortress, and that would create some tension there as she blows the place, and we think she, but it could be implied that maybe she was going to get hurt, but then she's the only one to survive the basement blow there or whatever.
Okay, I thought of something.
Okay.
I don't know how well this would work, because I don't think the scene itself would be particularly long, because Talia is a skilled combatant, but she's not anywhere near the combat prowess of Batman, like especially fighting multiple opponents. Like she could probably take on like 2 or 3, but there's probably a lot of them down there, so she would probably be better off. Thanks. She would probably be better off. I mean, like she might have to fight a few of them, but to get by on stealth or something for the most part, and worm her way through there, and then but make it a short scene and have it inserted as a cut after the first part of Batman and Raish fighting, where Raish jumps into the Lazarus pit, and then you see all the smoke and everything billowing, and then you see it clear a little bit, and you see Raish standing there, you know, all shadowy-eyed and fucking crazy looking and crazed and shit. Cut it there. Have the scene with Talia. When she finishes up, cut back to the scene, and it's a cinematic technique. No time will have had to have passed.
Right.
It's a way to show two things that are occurring at the same time, cutting it in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Does that make sense? From a filmmaker's point of view, does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I just wanted. I don't know. There's still she's sabotaging the place, and Raish up in the main chamber or whatever needs to notice that, like, whether it's like looking out the window and seeing like Abaddon leaking out, or I don't know. That's just something I said off the top of my head. Like, he needs to know that like they just sabotaged his operation, and like I just figured a big scale like thing like that would be something that, because I mean
I've got it.
Okay.
She comes up with some sort of time device, and she actually ends up getting out of there. The alarm goes off near the end of the fight when Raish has Batman up against the wall, a knife ready to kill him, and that's when Talia shows up, and somewhere around there, maybe even after like Raish is sitting there defeated while Batman's talking to him, and then this alarm sounds, and he tells Raish what just happened.
So you're saying she steals the time then that he was told to make for the Clock King as his payment?
That would be cool.
Or different.
Because I kind of like wrote in that, like, because I wrote a little more of the script, and like it's a reveal of like the big factory down below, and like that's how the Clock King is gonna like. That's how we're gonna believe that Raish can like have this time belt made in time for like the hurry of him wanting Clock King to get back to Gotham, is because like they have such a massive factory of like Society of Shadows people working on shit, and in that we can also just show them working on those Abaddon bullets or whatever that you were talking about. But yeah, that would be interesting to have Talia implement. Like, maybe if they didn't sabotage his time belt in the ambush, but they just sort of got it, and that's what she used to, like, get in there and get out.
Then how does he die?
I don't know. We're solving these problems as we talk.
The Clock King dies of malfunction of this thing, right?
Yeah.
Maybe when she goes into the factory place, she sees the new one that he was supposed to make sitting there in the office, looking pretty.
You would say.
They might have made
yeah,
more.
yeah, they might. Yeah, actually, yeah, that's a.
It's a really good technology. Why wouldn't you make like tons of them?
Yeah, that's not bad, Sean.
All right.
Yeah, she's just like, how am I going to do this? And she just looks over, and there's like 10 time belts just laying there. Okay.
That'll do it.
Would that seem a little Deus Ex Machina though? If it just no, because it's foreshadowed.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. But would they go in without a plan?
I mean, this is it. That's the idea. We're going in without a plan, but we're going to figure it out. Like, the whole world rests on our shoulders.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, I did have a thought just as y'all were kind of discussing it.
What?
I guess wouldn't they? Because even if you come up with a cure for something, especially something like Abaddon, like you wouldn't necessarily know if it works until you've tested it. What if they kind of come up with a, serum an anti-Abaddon serum, completely untested, decide to, we're going up against Raish. We should have something. This might work. Have Batman fighting Talia at the warehouse, getting ready to blow, to sabotage the operations. And then at the last minute figure, I'll blow this stuff up, and if I die, I die. I come back from it. I'm great.
Yeah.
And then fake out the audience to a point where, it looks like, no, she probably did die.
Right. On top of that, I have another thought of, like, okay, Raish is using the Lazarus to, like, stay alive, and he was supposed to die a long time ago. But Talia is, like, she's her right age, right?
About, yeah.
Like, she's never, like, jumped in the Lazarus pit to stay alive.
Right, yeah, she's never been in that position before.
What if, like, the thing that kills Raish, that causes him to die, to catch up with his actual age, is what saves her? Like, what if she just has a sample of Abaddon, and or of Lazarus, and she just, like, injects that or drinks that, and that's the cure that, like, makes her not get cured by or hurt by the Abaddon.
That would make sense that if she used them, yeah.
Wait, okay, so explain this to me again.
Alright, so, like, maybe when they're checking out Lazarus pits or whatever, looking for Raish earlier in the movie, she just, like, pockets a bit of it, and he's like, what's that for? And she's like, just in case. And that's the thing that, like, he's saying that we use to, like, fake out the audience of, like, her getting, like, blown in this, like, fucking Abaddon plant sabotage thing. She just, like, injects some Abaddon, and because it doesn't, like, or not some Abaddon, some Lazarus pit, because that wouldn't kill her. It kills Raish because it catches you up to the age you're supposed to be. If Abaddon's violently aging you and Lazarus just keeps you alive, then those are just neutralizing within herself. Whereas with Raish, it catches him up to the age he's supposed to be, which kills him. Does that make sense at all?
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually really does. Is there any problem with her taking some of that Lazarus, like, pit stuff, like, around, though? Can you remove it from the pit?
Yeah, that's the thing that I don't know, and it's not something that's been shown to... Like, I think you have to immerse yourself in the pit for it to do really anything.
Well, this is, I guess, not... I mean, it's not necessarily doing something. It's more of just introducing...
Yeah,
a tiny bit
it's
just
being
to
used
counteract.
as a cure as opposed to, like, some overtaking thing, like an injection or something.
You're not asking it to rejuvenate you. You're just asking it to just get in the blood long enough to...
But what we discussed in way back the science episode that we had, we were talking about the Abaddon serum and what it does.
Yeah.
We discussed the Abaddon serum binds itself to human blood. Which means that once it's in your system, you can't actually get rid of it. The only thing you can do is... Well, I mean, generally speaking, the only thing you can do is die. The only reason it works pretty much instantaneously.
What if it's the cure from the beginning? They're in the plant where they're making more Abaddon. He had to have synthesized more of the Black Plague cure from the beginning. What if she just uses that there? I mean, it's got to be in the plant if they're making more.
That could work, but the thing is, I don't think that the cure for the Abaddon serum makes sense as anything. I think cure is the wrong word for it, for the idea I'm getting from it. I think that generally speaking, once you're hit with it, that's it. You're done.
Okay.
But they can make a neutralizing agent that de-weaponizes it, basically just makes it useless sludge.
Mm-hmm.
But and I feel like it would be really strange to have Talia in a near-death situation, get out of it, and then very immediately die. I just figured out why we can't do this.
Okay.
That actually trumps everything that I was saying. After Raish puts himself in Talia's body, he starts using the Lazarus pit in her body.
That's her, right.
If that shit's in her, then she has the same fucking problem he does, why he had to leave his body.
Right.
Okay.
So it's a little extraneous, and it doesn't work.
Okay. No, I hear you. It's the reason we talk these things out.
Yeah.
Alright. Moving on. Perhaps where Ubu tells Bruce where Raish's fortress is right before he dies, it's like whispered and we don't hear it. And after the record time sequence, when Bruce's faith is renewed, he's like, let's go get your father. And Talia's all like, but we still don't know where to go. And he's like, I do now. Like, just, it's implied that, like, at that moment later, like, that's where Raish is. Or that's how we found out that Ubu told him where Raish is.
I don't know if that's a necessary thing. Like, I think we had discussed that when Bruce is telling Talia, okay, yeah, I'm giving up, I'm doing anything, I'm just gonna call the Justice League and tell them where Raish is. And I think Talia already knows that Bruce knows where Raish is.
Oh. Okay. We did say that. I was just saying we could move it for dramatic purposes to there, but it's not a big thing and doesn't really matter either way.
Would we really need a dramatic reveal there at the end of such a dramatic scene?
No, my thought process behind it was just like in the drama of Ubu fucking dying.
Had a feeling.
Chris?
I'm pretty sure it is because that
It sounded like a
truck
shitty
has
truck, yeah.
straight pipe. It has no muffler, so I'm guessing that's who that is.
Oh, that knock was on my door.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Let's give it a minute before until everyone gets settled and shit.
Okay.
Gotta tell him if he wants to come into these podcasts, he needs to come to them at the beginning.
I texted him and told him where I was because he called and I didn't answer because. Gatorade, bitch!
Gatorade me, bitch. I knew where you were going with that.
Not much, man. I understand that. Y'all didn't hear me pull up?
Yeah, no, we heard you pull up.
Talk.
Pull up a chair.
Like Otto's bait and chair.
Yeah, see, the problem is that that became my bait and chair because I broke the one arm on it, you see. How do you think I broke it?
Alright, so what was I saying?
I don't remember. Chris came and fucked everything up. Chris, you might want to close that door there. That rabbit gets annoying.
Oh, what I was saying was, my only thought behind it was that Ubu telling Batman where Raish's palace was would seem like, in the drama of the moment of the scene of Alfred just dying and Ubu dying, that seems like less important information to distract the audience with when they're dealing with such heavy shit at that moment. Therefore, it could be revealed later. Because, I mean, that was a missing piece that they had the whole time of, like, where is Raish? And, like, once his faith would be renewed, that would be, like, an extra oomph of, like, oh, shit, and now we know where he is.
I don't know. I still like the Batman Ubu scene better with Ubu just outright telling him, and Batman now knows, but he doesn't give a shit.
Oh, okay.
I mean, what do you guys think, though?
They both work, but
I don't know if is it the fact that he doesn't really give a shit, or just he can't. His mind's too full at that point. Like,
yeah, something
his
like
body.
Like
his
he
faith
wants
is broken.
he wants to foist off the whole stop Raish thing onto other people now because he can't.
Because he can't deal with it anymore. You know, it's past his point of being able to continue until something, you know, brings him back up.
yeah.
The suit, the realization that he's not done. You know, he can continue. And not only that, but Alfred kind of gave him permission to continue by creating the suit for him.
But then,
And by dying.
this is the best permission ever. But
Do what you want. I'm dead.
But okay, so how do you guys feel on the whole? Either we hear Ubu tell Batman where Raish is at the scene where Ubu dies, or we have it not revealed right then. Maybe Ubu just whispers it to him or something like that, then dies, and Batman doesn't say anything about it until after the record time sequence. How do you guys feel on that?
I kind of like the idea of him not saying it until the record time sequence, because then it's just like you said, he's got more pressing matters in mind. He heard it, but it went in and out.
Well, almost kind of one of those things where, you know, in movies where characters are hearing things, but the sound's kind of blurred out because they're still dealing with.
Yeah, like he's just blind rage and sad and.
But how would you... okay.
And his body doesn't understand those words that have come out.
Okay. I understand that from a human perspective. Believe me, I understand not listening to somebody with blind rage coursing through you. But how do we make that work cinematically?
I mean, all you gotta do is just show him whispering to him, and then him dying or whatever, and then Batman just kind of dealing with his own shit, and then he just like one line of dialogue or something like, I know where he is now.
Well, maybe it is.
What reason does Ubu have to whisper it to him? Because right there, there's nobody else.
I mean,
There's nobody else, and Ubu's not actually dying at this point. He's just resigned to die.
Last ray of hope, I guess. Just like, hey man, yeah, that's where he is. Sorry, I fucked you.
And it doesn't necessarily need to be a whisper as much as, like, we hear Ubu say what he's going to say before he, like, does the Society of Shadows thing or falls over the cliff or whatever. And then it's, like, a long shot away of, like, Batman right next to Ubu as Ubu falls. I mean, he could have said it right then, just the camera being farther away implies that, like, we weren't right up there. The mic wasn't there for us to hear it. And it's just, like, I just imagine, like, you know, with how storytelling's done with like hope and like needing info, like that's part of the driving force of the movie is like we didn't know, like part of the reason of a montage of like them going around and looking for Lazarus Pits is to find Raish's fortress, and then like all hope is gone at the moment that like Alfred dies. And then that's when Bruce is going to give up. So in that moment, it doesn't seem like it even matters where Raish's fortress is.
Right. But here's, like, I understand that, but here's where I think we could hit the nail in better with that. That we could, we have it known to the audience. The audience knows that, okay, Raish is in Russia or whatever. We hear Ubu tell him. And it's at that where, like, if we have it, there doesn't seem to be much of a reason, at least through my train of mind, to hide it from the audience. Like, it's... Like, reveals don't work unless it's something that... It would have to be some sort of visual reveal or something like that. Like, it would make sense if, you know, Ubu gave him a hint and then he revealed it in his... Like... Okay, I've got it. A reveal to the audience should also be a reveal to the characters. The characters should find... One character, at least, should find out what the audience finds out at the same time.
Talia would be.
Talia would be, but Talia wouldn't be like, oh shit, you know, it would... But, like, a reveal needs to make...
But Talia's in the mind frame of the audience in that moment. Like the audience is like, oh man, we don't want Bruce to give up. And then, like...
This is after the record time scene when they're talking about that.
I know.
We know Bruce hasn't given up.
I know. I'm saying, like, before the record time sequence, we're with Talia, and then suddenly the record time sequence happens, and then, like, he looks at Talia and is like, yo, I'm feeling good again, or up for this, or whatever. And then, like okay, there's a feeling of hope, but, like, then there's still the lingering, like, issue of, like, okay, that's great, but we still don't know where to go or what to do about it, and our only hope just died. And, like, oh, don't worry, I do know where it is. And then, like, oh my god, somebody has some information that's now revealed, and that can bring us into the climax. I think that we should actually just have, like, straight up the audience should know, they should be... Because that scene between Batman and Ubu is so tense. To cut away from that, or to, like, have any part of it not revealed even for a second, and just kind of feeling... Like, I'm imagining myself watching it, and that would just be insulting to me. You know, it's like... Like, I think that we could definitely have Batman tell Talia, hey, Ubu told me where it is, or whatever, and so Talia might not know, but... I still think that that's something that, it drives it in better if we hear the same information that Batman does, and we'll have a completely different feeling on the subject than what Batman does, and that makes his grief seem even more deep than it would if it was just whispered and then revealed later. Because it's just like... I mean, do you understand what I'm saying?
I do. I kind of have something and I was going to kind of suggest, and not to go too far into Breaking Bad tonight, but Breaking Bad, first episode, Walter White finds out he has cancer. Like, and in my head, that's what happens in real life, in fiction, when someone is given news or something happens and their mind isn't prepared to deal with it. They just kind of zone out. There's a ringing in the ear. You pick up things, but it's not quite everything. You're in the moment, but you're not quite in the moment. Mm-hmm. What if it was a situation like that where he's really not even able to focus on even, what Ubu had said fully until after his mind is cleared and he's renewed again in his faith of being Batman.
I feel that way too, and like that's what I meant with the long shot away. Is like it's not that he'd be whispering anything, and it's not that we'd be cutting away from the moment at all. It go from the moment of like being really up close and like in the shit, and like Ubu saying this society lives forever or whatever he says before he goes over, and then like. I don't know. We have to have that shot of like, when we discussed it when Christian was here, of like that shot from like up above the Batcave of like as he falls over, of like just some moment like they could hold it for like 1 second between them, and then like at the moment of the audience feeling the emotion of like, oh man, we're happy that Batman's back in the game with this new suit, like, they're not going to care logically about how he got this new information. They're just going to be like, oh shit, he knows and he found out. He must have found out from Ubu. Like, it's an emotional thing more than a logical thing when most people are watching movies. Maybe not for you.
But that's the thing, though. You know who operates on emotion rather than logic? Women.
And we're in the mind frame of the of Talia as an audience member.
Yes, we don't want the Khan reveal of Star Trek Into Darkness. Like
That's
Khan.
that's what I'm saying. That's where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
Is that that's just
okay.
Like, you know, it's just like, why was that such? You know, it's a reveal that doesn't feel like it needed to have been kept secret.
But it was such a secret for the whole movie.
But doesn't it make sense for you to actually hear Ubu say, hey, he's in Russia or wherever, and then, like, that's the last, like, that could be the last thing he says to Batman. Be like, Raish is in Russia. Good luck. And then kills himself.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Because I'm sorry, but I like really hate the whole. Why does this need to be kept secret from the audience for like 10 minutes?
I'll tell you why it does. I'll tell you why, because it feels a little weird. Even Batman going through what he's going through, it feels weird to have him have that information of a genocidal madman being in this place and not have him immediately say, fuck yeah, let's do this.
Agreed.
That's what feels weird. It's not that it's not even earned, because it is earned in a way, but you've got to give Batman some kind of, I don't know, it almost feels like he has to have a handicap in order for that to be okay. in order to give him permission to not be able to do that.
When Ubu's dying, we want to be focused on the fact that, like, Bruce is dealing with Alfred's death, not focus on the...
Shouldn't you be going now?
Yeah.
Right. So, if Bruce is focused on Alfred's death, we can have him know this, and then have the audience know there's like, oh shit, he knows, he doesn't care. But why can't we know? Oh my god.
Because you've got to let him off the hook somehow. You have to let it be okay for Batman not to care. And that's really hard, because that's Batman's entire job.
Alright, let me ask you one question. And I'm not even asking you to agree.
Like, I can't even word my displeasure with this whole thing. I'm trying to figure it out.
Let me ask you one question. You don't even have to agree that this is what we're going to do. You have as far as I'm concerned, you have the final say on every scene, and I don't care. It's just where mine goes. Aside from the logic of your scene with Ubu and him getting the information then, does it make sense to you? My only point that gave me the genesis for this thought of, after he does the record time sequence and Faith is renewed, us getting new information as an audience that we've been searching for the entire movie, that's the thing that makes our hearts leap to go like, oh crap, we can finally accomplish the thing we've been worried about for the entire movie. That information being dropped right there instead of earlier, like, that's like where it all adds up, and like oh crap, like, I imagine a fucking crescendo swelling of like, oh my god, now we can fucking take care of everything. That is the only point I'm caring about. Do you understand where I'm coming from with that? Because...
Alright, I understand where you're coming from with that. Now here's my rebuttal. Now I'm going to try and... I'm trying to word this in such a way as... Because, like, I have thoughts, and I'm trying to get them into words, and it's not working.
So you're Hollingsworth.
No.
He's still way better than that.
Well, no, because I have thoughts.
That was good.
Yeah, you're missing the whole point, Chris.
Maybe I'm the Hollingsworth. I have.
You just pulled a Hollingsworth.
Did you just pull up on a shitty trot? Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, buddy. Woo!
Okay. So, I forget where we were.
What? You were going to make a point. You're trying to get it into words. It's the rebuttal to why the crescendo of information and everything is... Yeah.
The crescendo isn't them finding out where Raish is. The crescendo is Batman coming back into the fray because he has this new suit. The crescendo, our crescendo, is the same as Batman's crescendo.
I agree.
Our crescendo is Batman now has the suit. He knows it works. He can actually take on Raish. Having the information isn't enough. He has to be able to actually do something with it. So I think that he should have the information, and we should have the information at the same time. The information stops being a big deal if Batman can't actually do anything, being not in a physical or mental state to actually use the information to his advantage. At that point, the information comes superfluous.
But, and here's my thing.
God damn
Here's my thing. And that makes sense. And Ken, your thing makes sense too. You know, I mean, it's upbeat upon upbeat upon upbeat after going through, you know, the worst scene I can imagine any Batman fan going through. You know, to one only or, you know, triumph upon triumph after such a dark place that you're taking it is understandable. But just getting the story forward and keeping the movie in the perspective of Batman makes sense because it's a Batman movie.
And the info I'm saying, the exchange of info is not, you're right, that's not the crescendo. The crescendo, I'm agreeing with you, is like him, the record time, like, faith renewed, okay, we can do this. Him and Talia are like, okay, awesome, let's take this head on.
Why do we need to have this be a reveal?
The info, okay, maybe I used the wrong word all along. That's not a reveal, that's the button. Like, because the button isn't faith renewed, that's a fucking moment we're going to linger on for a moment. Okay, now it's Batman and Talia alone in the Batcave. How are we going to take care of this after Faith Renewed? Oh, also, by the way, I know where we have to go. Gasp! If this were a TV show, that'd be the end of the episode, and you go, "Oh my god, the next episode is going to be them."
That's a Vince Gilligan shit right there.
Yeah, the next episode is going to be them in the fucking on the way there.
Okay, now see, that makes sense, but why do we have to not know that?
Well, and this is where my point comes in. And the reason I can think logically to keep that information somewhat murky is to give some kind of logical excuse for the audience for why Batman isn't just taking care of business as soon as he finds out. I mean, what he's going through, where his mental state is, obviously this is the worst place he's been since his parents died.
Mm-hmm.
Having said that, didn't having his parents die, you know, push him to, you know, right those kind of wrongs to begin with?
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's it just feels like Bruce needs an excuse why this wouldn't push him harder. That this is actually he's letting this happen.
I've got the solution. Ubu doesn't tell him outright. Ubu says something to him that's sort of a clue or whatever, and Batman realizes it. It comes together.
Right. That's all I'm saying.
But
it just doesn't always.
But to have it just like he says it off screen, or it's whispered, or it's mumbled, or we cut to Talia during their conversation. If there's anything that detracts from Ubu and Batman's final moment together, that cuts the whole emotion of the scene. So I'm trying to preserve that scene, and if there's anything that we don't get from that, if there's any dialogue at all that we don't get from that scene right there,
it's a cheat. That's a cheat. It feels like a cheat.
Okay, now you understand where I'm coming from. Do you understand?
Yeah.
What do you want?
Yeah. Why does Uber have to say anything at all? Here's what I say we do. We hire the Riddler, okay? And he just spits out some stuff. And Batman's like, I got you.
It's the Minotaur. It's the Minotaur. It's the Minotaur. It wasn't a Minotaur the first time. Why the would it be?
You know? Problem solved, guys. Bring the Riddler back.
Gotta come back.
You know, Jim Carrey, you know, hire him. Do this.
Just hire Jim Carrey. That's all.
I don't say that'd be a problem.
All right.
Oh god.
Okay. So we're getting close.
Caffeine will kill you.
We're getting close to me having to go watch Breaking Bad. But
What time is it now?
it's 10:11 and
Oh shit! We're gonna be up on the bay any moment.
I'm downloading it right now.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Oh my god. Okay, take a break from Project Batman so I can fucking...
I'm gonna finish this soon.
I know. Oh my god, I need to start any minute
Did you
now.
fucking really? Yes. Shut up.
Ken, can you put it on a flash drive?
When it's done.
That's okay, I'll put it on my flash drive too. Oh shit, I accidentally typed in the
I mean-
slash.
Mine's downloading really slow. Just
Oh.
like,
No.
No. Editing, baby. Sorry, now you've got me on Jim Carrey. Thank you very much.
You are.
Yeah.
I love Jim Carrey.
Editing, baby.
He's the one that did Who's Line.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is the one who did Who's Line. I like that guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Jim Carrey?
he didn't do Who's Line.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Don't feed him.
Jim Carrey? Yeah, Who's Line? Who was it then?
Robin Williams was on Who's Line once.
Christian
it's
Slater.
not him.
It was Christian Slater.
yeah.
It was.
I'm talking about Jim Carrey did it on Who's Line. He was the host. He did the thing.
That was Drew Carey.
Yeah, that was Drew Carey, dude.
Oh, so they're brothers. Is that?
I knew that was coming.
Are they, that's why I got them confused. They're both brothers.
No.
They're probably twin brothers.
No.
I don't.
You don't
I don't even think they're
understand.
remotely the same age.
Drew Carey drove Batman's car in an episode of the Drew Carey Show. However, Jim Carrey was in a Batman film.
So what you're saying is Drew Carey's Batman.
Yes.
So what you're saying?
And he dresses like Jim Carrey at night.
So what you're saying is Gotham is Cleveland.
And it rocks.
Yeah.
Hey,
Wait, why couldn't Gotham be Cleveland?
we've got
Shitty place?
we've got
Cleveland's got too much crime to be Gotham. Batman
Damn
could
it,
not
right.
clean that shit up.
What? No, he got
That
He's Jim Carrey. Drew
okay.
Carey.
Here's how we solve whether Cleveland is Gotham. Name 5 black characters in Gotham.
Lucius Fox. The guy who fixed the Batmobile.
nameless criminals who die.
Yeah.
All right.
Wasn't there another one?
It can't be Cleveland. Cleveland's like 70% black people.
The African American population of Gotham is.
Is
It hasn't been.
They have to at least be invisible for them to not make that.
Wait! I think one of the Carney freaks was.
This is sounding more and more
This
racist.
is not good. This is not
as
going well.
we-
But it was a Killer Croc episode.
Okay.
It was really good.
So where were we?
All right.
So we can wrap this up.
By the way, our record time sequence has gotten 4 views since we've started this podcast.
Oh, snap.
Today. Okay. So 2 other things real quick. Or I have one last note, but then also I wrote more of the script, a scene, and then started the scene after that. But we've gone through so much today that I think I'll just write more before next week, and then we'll just
Good call.
We'll just go over those next time. My last fucking note here that I wrote was in episode 2 of Project Batman. It was just you and me.
Deep cut.
Yeah.
And
Deep cut.
you were explaining a fun scene you had come up with for Batman testing out the new Batsuit, like on 3 random criminals, and it was just like a fun thing for the audience, like to be like for Bruce just trying it out before like any epic battle or whatever. And I don't remember the specifics of it, but it was just like fun ways to take out 3 separate guys. And we don't really have a part for that in the script, so I thought like, well, you guys had suggested at some point like Bruce gets in contact with Gordon about Alfred's body before he goes to take Rayshawn and the other part of the world. And I don't know what he says to Gordon exactly or how that's supposed to happen, But I was like, what if, since like Gordon's all saying he's getting too old for this, we have a scene between record time and going to Raish's fortress where like Gordon's like coming home from work or something, and he's about to get mugged by 3 criminals, and Batman saves him in this fucking new Batman Beyond suit way that you suggested that I thought was fun, so we don't lose that scene. And that's where they can have that exchange of like, well, like Gordon's like, see, I really can't do this anymore, and Batman's like, it's okay, clearly I've got this now. Something like that. Like, obviously that's not direct dialogue. I'm just trying to fill 2 holes with one thing and take what you like out of that and tell me what you want to do with it.
I don't know. It's fun, but like you said, there's not really a place in the script for it.
Okay, but then how are we dealing with Alfred's corpse?
No, that was
Yeah, didn't we discuss that? Just calling Gordon.
Okay, but when, where, what's he say?
On his way to the fortress, just commish, just really.
I got a body
deal
for
with
you to
this.
take care of. I don't want to be at the funeral.
okay, I've got it. When Talia comes... No, because we can't do that because he'll have... Okay, hold on.
They use some of the gas, which turns his body into dust. Boom. Done.
Instant cremation.
Dude, that's awesome. They suddenly, like, he just bottles it. It's instant cremation. Wayne Industries, instant cremation.
Oh my god, he's gonna make a fortune on this.
Yeah. Although I feel like
Research for this started back in the year 1467.
I just thought of something that actually makes Chris's idea seem much less smart-assed.
Oh.
Thank you.
Don't validate him.
No. Because this could be pretty fucking bad here. We were talking just a couple of minutes ago about Abaddon-impregnated weapons.
Oh, yeah.
What if the knife that Ubu stabs Alfred with has an Abaddon-laced edge, and then all Alfred has time to say is your parents would be proud before he fucking, like, dusts right there?
It's like a vampire.
That's so sad.
It's a scene right out of Buffy.
Would that not be the worst fucking thing ever?
Don't even get to
Alfred's just, or
I know.
Bruce is like leaning to like catch him, but there's nothing to catch.
Oh, man.
That would explain one reason why I'd be so traumatized.
Yeah. No, that's...
What?
Wow.
Does that actually work?
Wow.
What do you guys think? Because I think that works.
I think it
I'm
works.
so
Does
sad.
it take away from the Clock King Uber? I mean, does the fact that the Clock King just like Uber aged right before that, like, take away from it at all or anything?
I don't think so, because we really didn't care about him. We wanted to
Yeah.
see him die.
Yeah.
But, well, I'm sure the portion... I like the Clock King. We all like the Clock King, but a lot of the people who are going to be watching this, it's just like, I love the idea that, I think it was you had, of when the Clock King shows up, Alfred's just like, what the hell is the Clock King doing here? You know, like, voicing the opinions that we're all sure the audience has, voicing the opinions that they're actually giving us.
You are second string at best. At best, my friend.
It's just like in it was like the second to last episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender, when they had that whole they did this play thing where, you know, they had some guys in the Fire Nation wrote a play about the adventures of the Avatar, and it was sitting there making fun of the whole show, voicing the same complaints that the fans had. You know, it's just like everyone hated this one filler episode, and they sat there and made fun of that.
Yeah, that was great.
But you know,
him?
I thought that it was like that sort of thing. You know,
Oh, well, I like my original idea for Alfred.
if they just dump it on him.
No!
And they
No! The first podcast I was on with Matthew. Alfred goes on vacation to Paris.
Whoa. What if he just takes a trip to Belize?
He could take a trip to
Right?
Belize.
Right?
In fact, I feel like
Send you on a
Belize
trip to
should be
Belize.
one of the places targeted.
That's fucked up. Plus, it's a
But-
country.
But I
Take
actually,
it out.
but actually, despite the smart assness
No,
of Chris,
that
I
is
actually
crippling. That is
that
so
is
sad.
actually almost I like that idea. What do you think, Ken?
I dig it.
Y'all welcome.
I'm gonna sit on it, but yeah, I think I like it.
I mean, what do you think, Sean?
I mean,
Like an Abaddon impregnated knife that solves the issue of Alfred's body being there, and it just makes the whole situation worse.
And it would explain
You
why
see-
he
you
wouldn't
see-
want to attend the funeral.
Yeah, you see Bruce like reaching for any like remains, like while he's just like breaking down.
The glasses.
like, just like
yeah, the glass.
Oh my
shit.
god!
Alfred doesn't wear glasses.
The bow tie?
Alright, bow tie. Fuck it. I don't know what he's wearing. Who's the fuck's Alfred? You know?
I think it's like Clock King with the glasses.
It is the Clock King with glasses. That was
They're
what I was
both old
thinking
and
of.
butlers from what I've seen.
No, I did try to help him out, by the way, the other day. I was over at Sean's.
Oh,
and
yeah, we
I was
drew
drawing.
Alfred.
Yeah, did you tell him about that?
I didn't tell him. I still have it.
You still have that picture?
No,
You
I-
should save that.
I am
The
saving it.
picture you drew of Alfred, where he was just sort of
He's sort of the Patrick Stewart Alfred
he's
in my mind.
No, I was there when you were drawing that.
Oh, yeah, you were. That's
Because
right.
I had to come over here.
That's right. I fixed it a little.
He had a huge dent in like one side of his head.
It's more Uber
That's for his
bastard.
hair.
Like that fucking kid from Korra.
God damn it.
We're not trying to make
It was
We're
my
not
best
making fun of you.
No, it was my best work though.
Oh, God.
Best work.
It really wasn't that terrible. I mean,
can
he's
do, like,
not
a
the
nice stick
easiest one to
figure if I
draw.
needed
I didn't
to.
watch
I'm with
Korra.
art and skills.
I didn't watch yet either.
I'll send you a Facebook link because they've got it. I don't think they have it on the Bay because we were looking for it and it was like 4 hours later and they still didn't have it. But now Nick.com's just hosting it on their website, so you can watch it there.
Right on.
I still don't watch it yet. Well, how was it? Was it good?
It was really good. Cora spent the entire time PMSing.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah, like she was a total bitch the whole time, and I was like, Cora, what's wrong?
Why?
She just needs one of those good old hot American dickings. As I
Yeah.
think Mako's been holding back.
He must be.
Mako needs to be just like, bitch, here's me. And she's gonna go Avatar state and use retro. No, you're being a bitch. Calm the fuck down.
Gatorade me.
Actually, it's not gonna be good. Next episode, she goes to Avatar. I'm sure.
Bitch.
Bitch. Selling jokes, bitch.
Science, bitch.
Science, bitch.
Magnets, bitch. Sorry, that's my favorite one. Just completely.
Bitch.
Faster, bitch.
Now, what element is in a battery? Huh? Ah, yeah, wire. No, copper. Copper.
God damn.
Wires, bitch.
Okay, I think it's time to wrap this up because there's so much Breaking Bad going on in the room. I'm pretty sure somebody's about to throw up.
Batman, bitch.
I'm breaking out.
Batman, bitch.
Batman, bitch.
No, that's not a tagline.
Yeah, somebody who can do the best Jesse Pinkman? You need to yell, "Fucking Batman, bitch," or something like that.
All right, let's all try this.
Wait, we're gonna 3, 2, 1 it, and then we're all just gonna go out with Batman, bitch. Okay.
Alright, that's a
All
good
right.
idea.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, Batman, bitch.